Hey guys, what's up? It's Katie. I'm doing some really fun projects today because now that it's officially spring, I wanted to add a little bit of color into my life, so I picked up some succulents and I'm going to be transforming these little planters into an adorable home for them. And I'm also making this really cool shelf that is so inexpensive. I think it cost me under $5 to make, so I'm pretty excited about that. This video is also a collab with Jessica from WorkingGirlDishes, and she's going to be doing a bunch of spring DIYs over on her channel as well. So I'm going to link that in the down bar. Make sure you go and check it out and give her a like and subscribe to her channel. She does a bunch of different types of videos, from beauty to recipes to DIYs, and she's really sweet and down to earth, and I really enjoy her videos. So make sure you check that out. And if you're coming from Jessica's channel, welcome, and I hope you'll subscribe to my channel so we can all be friends. So let's go ahead and hop into the video. So we're going to start with this hanging shelf, and I picked up a piece of wood from the hardware store. They have all different types of woods and grains there, and this one is 2 feet long by 1 inch, and you can actually ask them to just cut it right there in the store for you. Sometimes they also have a scrap pile of pieces of wood that have been cut from larger pieces that they can no longer sell. So this is actually how I got this one, so be on the lookout for that too. I also picked up some picture hanging wire in a copper color, which is what I'll be using to hang the shelf. And you'll also need some needle nose pliers and a wire cutter. This one is sort of a 2-in-1, but you can also just use a regular wire cutter. I cut a piece of wire that was 64 inches long, and I slid it under one end of the wood. Next, I pulled the edges tight and I crossed them over the top. Then I took one end at a time and crossed it underneath, making sure to be pulling it as tightly as I could with each step of the way. Once you're satisfied that the wire is fitting snugly around the board, you can take the two ends and cross them toward each other and start twisting them around each other. Then you'll just continue doing this all the way up until you reach the ends of the wire, and you want to just try to make sure that you're twisting it consistently so that you're not leaving a big space anywhere, because you want to have a nice finished braided look when you get to the top. To finish this off, you'll just need to grab your needle nose pliers and pull the ends into a loop. Then you can just squeeze the unfinished ends together so that they're not sticking out, and that's what you'll hang it up with. You can repeat the same thing on the other side, and then you can hang both ends onto one nail. All said and done, this shelf cost me under $5 to make. Next, I needed something to put on my shelf, so I wanted to make some marbled planters for my little succulents. So I'm taking some white acrylic paint, and I added about 3 of these little jars into a disposable container, and then I also added a little bit of water just to water down the surface of the paint. You can stir it up a little bit, and then you'll take an accent color and just make sure that you choose a darker shade of whatever color you're using. Add a little tiny bit of water to that, and then just take a paintbrush and start to splatter it into your white paint. You'll see it start to take on this sort of marble effect in the water, and it should spread out across the surface. Next, you can take a terracotta pot and start to roll it in the paint, making sure that you're just barely skimming the surface. That's going to give you the nice marble effect. Once you've got it covered completely, you can just put it upside down on a piece of paper to dry, and if you want to, you can tip it over and let it dry the other way to let the drip pattern sort of create even more of a marble effect. For this next one, I used a little bit too much water the first time, so it sort of just came out white. So if that happens to you, all you need to do is dump out a little bit of the water and add some more of your accent color. Once they're completely dry, it's time to plant your succulents or whatever little plants you're using. So just grab it by the base and put it into your pot, and then you just want to add some extra soil around the sides to make sure that it's stable. So just add as much as you think is sufficient for that pot, and take your fingers and push it down all around the sides to make sure that your plant is nice and stable inside. These next two are not so much DIYs, but just ideas for planting your succulents. So one idea that I really like is doing it in a teacup. And because there's no drainage holes in a teacup, you'll just need to add some pebbles in the bottom so that when you water it, the roots aren't just sitting in the water. And because this is a little wider, you'll need to add a bit more soil. And lastly, I picked up this little jar at Michael's that reminded me of something you might see at Anthropology, and I added some pebbles in the bottom and also in the top to give it a fun decorative effect. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I really like how these turned out, so if you guys go ahead and try it, tag your photos on Instagram so I can see them, and make sure you're following me on there. As always, give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it, and hit this button right here to subscribe. You guys know the drill. And make sure you go on over to Jessica's channel to watch her spring DIY video, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye!